Hi, we've had many parents contact us about Christmas and if there's anything that they can do to make that a little bit easier for their family and their children. So we have put together some top tips for you, which you can find on our website, and many of these tips have actually come from parents who are living in a family with someone with autism as well, so they are from real life experiences. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each tip and just talk a little bit more about it, just so you've got a little bit more information. So before Christmas, one of the key things really is planning in the run up to Christmas. So many of our families will use a visual schedule which will count the child down to tell them when Christmas Day actually is. And that's really important because it brings about that routine and that predictability for a child with autism. The other thing to think about is maybe you could get your child involved in putting up the decorations in the house. That way they have some control over what actually goes into their environment, because sometimes flashing lights or a lot of tinsel or certain decorations on a tree can cause a problem from a sensory point of view for a lot of our children and young people. So letting them have control over it might actually help them to make them decisions about what works best for them. The other thing to think about is when you're buying presents, obviously you might want to think about what your child is really interested in at that time and buy presents around that. Some of our children really enjoy messy play activities, so you can get lots of ideas for that online if you think that could be an idea for Christmas Day as well. On the festive day itself, obviously it is really busy, it's really unpredictable, there's a lot of sensory information going on in the environment, and this can cause a problem for a lot of our children with autism and anyone really. Christmas can be, a very oversensory time for many of us. What I would kind of recommend is that you build breaks up into the day. I think that's really important. So because the day is so hectic, make sure that you give your child that time out that they might need just to calm down in between Christmas activities, if you like. The other thing to think about is communicating with other family members about what to buy your child. This gets away from any guilt that you might feel. For example, if Auntie Rita turns up with a scale X-Trix for your child and your child really isn't interested in that, they're interested in dinosaurs or Minecraft or anything that they're into at the time, this can make you feel a little bit guilty if your child doesn't respond by saying, "That's brilliant, Auntie Rita, thank you very much." So let them know beforehand what could work well and what they could buy for your child. That can be really useful. The other thing to think about is the element of surprise is really difficult for a lot of our children. So you might want to tell them first what they're actually unwrapping. I know that kind of can take away a lot of the fun of Christmas as we see it, but for them it brings about that predictability and actually will really help them and reduce anxiety in some way. The other thing is, if you're buying games or activities where you need batteries or you need to build them up, you might want to do that beforehand, just because often if a child opens their present, they want it there and then. If they've got to wait 20 minutes for it to be built up, that could increase anxiety and that could cause a problem for that child. So it might be that you want to put it together beforehand. The other thing, we have a lot of families that worry about Christmas dinner, that they can't get their child to eat a Christmas dinner, and parents put a lot of pressure on themselves to make Christmas dinner for their family. I would suggest that you kind of pick your battles on Christmas Day and you'll know as a family what your battles are. So if your child really does want to eat, turkey, dinosaurs and sprouts, then let them have turkey, dinosaurs and sprouts. It'll make your day that little bit easier for you as a family. The other thing that you can think about is obviously planning. Planning is a massive part of decreasing anxiety for children with autism. So if you do a social story of the day, so tell them what's going to happen on Christmas Day, maybe have photographs of people that are going to visit them, talk them through what happens when you get a present and how you should respond to that. And also, if you have any photographs from previous years, you could put them in as well, and then you could recap on what the child did last year as a family. So we hope that helps, and we hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas from everyone here at the North East Autism Society, and we shall see you again in 2016. Thank you.